Ah, writing. Writing. What is writing? Is this writing?
I'm exhausted.
Yeah, me too, but I'm really wired. What do you say I take you home and eat your pussy?
Have you ever thought of why writing like this exists in games? And how is it good for gaming industry moving forward? Well, before I get into how bad writing is good for games, I need to explain what is writing, and more importantly, what is creative writing, which of course encompasses more than just simple writing, and explain what caused the gaming industry to abandon writing as one of the most important factors of game development.
Shut up! I have a video prepared for this. We have to watch it.
But I was repeating these lines.
Shut up! Shut the fuck up! Just watch the video.
Would you like to fuck me? Nothing there.
Nothing there.
Writing. That seemingly simple task that everyone thinks they can do.
Just exactly what would interest you? Something the size of a jumbo jet?
After all, who needs skilled writers when we can all slap together a sentence and call it a story?
Alright, what was I saying?
Oh, the difference between good and bad writing? Oh, shut up. That's just a trivial detail that escapes the grasps of the masses. Why bother paying a fair price for something so undervalued? I mean, who needs captivating narratives, complex characters, and thought-provoking themes anyway? Let's just settle for mediocrity and save a few bucks. Let's just embrace the glory... the glorious era of bland remakes and mindless profit-driven drivel. Okay, I'll cut the crap for a second here. What I'm trying to say is... give me a second. What I'm trying to say is that written fiction and writing in general, whether in movies, shows, or video games, has become stale. Don't take it the wrong way here. There are plenty of shows and games and movies that prove to be quite good. However, there is a very strong downward trend, and we can see it in so many examples. Okay, so why did writing become so bad? And in general, what does creative writing has to do with it? How is this at all connected with anything? Well, stay tuned because you're about to know. Well, yeah, back to the show. Who needs creativity and originality when we can have the same recycled garbage over and over again? It's a capitalistic paradise, my friends. So let's raise our glasses and toast to the demise of meaningful storytelling. We all have known for decades that writing is one of those disciplines which is constantly undervalued. It's something that everyone thinks they can do. And frankly, as David Gator said, the difference between good and bad writing is lost on many, so why would anyone pay much for it?
I started this company. You know how much I sacrificed?
The former Dragon Age lead writer and narrative designer David Gator, in a thread of tweets, shared his experience working for Bioware, soon after Writers Guild of America went on a strike.
Nearly a month ago, the Writers Guild of America went on strike after failing to reach an agreement with studios and streamers.
They are seeking better pay and other improved conditions from the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers.
With the Writers Guild of America on strike, some shows and movies has already put production on hold. And one writer says by devaluing his profession, studios are devaluing their content.
It's like if the McDonald's CEO was like, yeah, we value McDonald's, but we don't value burgers and fries. And like everyone is going to these streaming sites because of the amazing imagination and storytelling of the writers, actors, and the creatives.
The first strike happened in 2007 for the same reason it is happening now: the need for better compensation and job security for all the entertainment industry writers.
Have voted unanimously to call a strike effective 12:01 a.m. Monday, November 5th.
Alright, but the writer's strike concerns mainly the movie writers and script writers for shows. Will it affect the video game industry at all? Officially, no. As per the IGN article, only a handful of game writers are currently represented by the union, and even then, they fall out of the jurisdiction of the current strike. But you have to be delusional to think that in no kind of way the writers will not stand up for themselves in the game industry, in the studios that they work in, asking for better payment, better benefits, better everything. And you know, it's one of those things that has to happen. As one Redditor said, the gaming industry is very abusive, as they gave the comparison of combining the worst things from the Hollywood and the worst things from the Silicon Valley and combining them together. The worst thing about it is that you're easily replaceable. I know, I do have a very severe nicotine addiction in this game, but you know, it's not that easy. As a lot of people that the gaming industry is suffering from a lot of different things, and mainly it is everyone being underpaid. As one Redditor claimed that, you know, they're being paid peanuts and it's better to work in a McDonald's because the hourly wage is higher. And of course we do have information that some AAA studios, I'm not gonna name, do not pay that much that they should. Yeah, about it. Yeah, I think I got it. Ah, missed again. Hey. A lot has changed about the gaming industry and gaming studios and how games are made since the 2000s. Hell, if you would like to know more about the process of game development in the 90s and 2000s, there's a great article on how Half-Life was made. And mind you, Half-Life was very different from their competitors at that time, because all the games were made with gameplay in mind, and story was just an afterthought. Now, the game stories are made in parallel with the gameplay itself. We have gameplay directors, we have story directors that answer to the lead director. But of course, that does not change the fact that we're still being underpaid, and the people are still going into the streets and demanding more pay, whether it's about games, whether it's about movies, TV. Yes, I of course understand that the protest that we're having now, it's about the entertainment industry writers. And of course, as mentioned before, writers in the gaming industry are not in the Writers Guild of America. And of course, there's a lot of things that has to still change in the gaming industry. And one of them is treating your employees with respect. But wait, this is not news. We have known for years that writers in many industries have been undervalued. And it is not that consumers don't want a good story, but more that writing something good is time consuming, leading companies to secure a bigger budget for the writing department and then explain to shareholders in the next meeting why another financial loan must be made. And this is a prime example of the capitalistic regime we all have been pushed into. I know it's a far reach, but please bear with me. However, before I go any further, I must explain what are we even talking about, what is creative writing, and how it is connected with video games. Some of you may mention that, well, if I am talking about video games, naturally storytelling or narrative design should fit the topic better. And you are right, but it must be understood that one cannot exist without the other. While storytelling is the most crucial part of game development, which involves a plethora of creative elements, such as music, specific environments, emotional impact, dialogues, and so much more. It cannot be made without creative writing. Okay, so I've been rambling about creative writing, but what is it? What is this mysterious process I've been talking about? Why is it so important? Well,
what's this, you fucking...
Creative writing, by definition, is quite simple. It is a piece of written fiction which displays imagination and innovation. But it goes beyond simply putting fictional words together to form sentences. It involves developing complex characters, exploring thought-provoking themes, understanding of oneself and others, and at the same time mastering the art of, well, how do I create a tangible story on paper? Overall, storytelling does encompass multiple elements, but creative writing serves as the foundation for constructing these factors. And yet, almost every game studio loses that understanding somewhere along the path to success.
It is 4 times the size of Fallout 4.
Hey. Yeah, sorry about that. Can't really understand which cable does what yet. Well, if you're asking what I'm doing, I'm trying to get out, but as you can see, I'm in the security room. And yeah, I just... In 1947, two critical theorists, Adorno and Horkheimer, argued that mass production and commercialization of cultural products, such as music, film, and literature, are only there for insurmountable profits and brainwashing. It has been named as the culture theory and became the foundational concept of cultural studies and critical theory. But why bring it up now? Well, Adorno and Horkheimer's theory suggests that the culture industry, with its emphasis on profit and mass consumption, can result in a preference for commercially viable genres and formulaic narratives, rather than preferring innovative and experimental works that challenge conventions and push boundaries. This means that the cultural products that are prioritized and promoted often don't have depth and nuance, which is the hallmark of excellent creative writing. Don't get me wrong, we do receive some games with great writing, but 80% of those come from indie developers. This is mainly due to, for smaller studios, the cheapest way to push out the game is more text and less coding. But as soon as you get big, you gotta hire all that talent, all those writers. You have to have massive scripts that lead to huge payouts. It means longer production time, and of course no shareholder wants that. AAA studios prioritize on games that can be easily marketed, which may not necessarily align with the values of creative writing, such as the exploration of complex themes and the cultivation of individual voice and expression. Additionally, big studios hesitate to take risks for fearing that the game will just not appeal to a broad enough audience. And there's an excellent modern example. Just look at Hi-Fi Rush.
You looking for me?
Get him!
With their unique rhythm-based fighting game, with a good story to listen to and follow, actually funny jokes, Tango Gameworks secured overwhelmingly positive reviews from fans and critics. However, due to its niche genre, the studio was not making the money it needed to make, at least according to the Forbes article. It can mostly be blamed on the game having zero marketing and being a day one Xbox Pass game, negating the need for sold separately copies for many Xbox players, as is usually the case with Game Pass launches. It is undoubtedly understandable why studios copy-paste the same formula every year, but it can also severely punish them if the fans just get sick and tired of the same thing.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
Moreover, there's a tremendous problem of crunch in the video game industry, where developers are often required to work long hours to meet tight deadlines, leading to burnout and creative exhaustion. This can impact the quality of game storytelling, as writers and designers just don't have enough time or power to refine their ideas and develop compelling narratives. In an article for Kotaku, Jason Schreier reported on the working conditions for writers on Bioware's, at that time, brand new IP, Anthem. Schreier spoke with several anonymous sources who said they were working 80-hour weeks and still struggling to keep up with the project's demands. Unfortunately, the rise of microtransactions and loot boxes did not help. It has led all of the focus on the monetization strategies rather than storytelling. And we can see it became a huge problem, just look at Diablo 4 or Destiny 2. When it comes to Diablo 4, they decided to push the store very aggressively with very high prices. It's not only Diablo 4, but Diablo Immortal, the mobile version of Diablo.
Battle Pass, Battle Pass, Battle Pass, Battle Pass, Battle Pass, like the Battle Pass, Battle Pass, Battle Pass of the Battle Pass, Battle Pass, Battle Pass, Battle Pass, Battle Pass, Battle Pass.
When it comes to Destiny 2, it's a bit different, but a lot of people have noticed that they steered away from creating actually good content that they were known for, and of course everyone was blaming Activision for letting them go and it was such a huge mistake from them. Now fans are slowly realizing that Bungie, the creators of Destiny, were let go for a reason.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Nothing. Me? Just hanging around.
They're not making good content anymore, and they're being very aggressive with their prices towards their expansions that maybe take 10 to 20 hours to complete fully, and then you have to pay $120 for it, which is a very steep price for most people. Mr. Gator left in 2016, but he mentioned that even up to that point, Bioware, the company that is known for inspirational and immersive worlds and lore, had been quietly resenting the writers, speaking about how to have less writing yet still create a masterpiece. True, there is no minimum amount of sentences to be written for a game to have a good story, but the underlying message is, how do we spend less time and money on the writing department and still come out with a game that everybody likes and enjoys the story? It's not just Bioware either, as Fable narrative lead Anna McGill shared a similar sentiment in a quote retweet discussing her experiences across the industry. Way too real. There's been a point on every project where I had to defend writing as a craft and fight for my writers to not become rewriters of other people's work. Bioware endured a substantial talent exodus in the years around Gator's departure. Some former employees have expressed similar concerns regarding changes within the company in the time leading up to their decisions to leave. While a popular narrative suggests that EA's acquisition of Bioware ruined the company, that has always seemed like a simplified theory. Bioware still released some highly acclaimed titles following the acquisition, including the Dragon Age franchise. But what Gator is saying though supports the idea that the company's values and creative pursuits were altered over time, as the acquisition put Bioware under closer fiscal scrutiny. Let's suppose it was suggested that Bioware's writers, who of course were a significant part of why EA acquisitioned Bioware, were now being seen as an elaborate expense. Well, in that case, you can imagine all the numerous problems that would cause. Most gamers don't need to be told that something went wrong with Bioware over the years. It was an undeniable fact. Elements of Mass Effect 3, well, most notably its ending, were divisive, but newer titles such as Mass Effect Andromeda and Anthem were seen as outright creative failures by many longtime Bioware fans.
Shut up. Shut up. If I could, I would. Don't you follow me.
And Anthem didn't even feel like a proper Bioware game. Of course, both of the games lacked the quality that once made Bioware the most respected and acclaimed RPG studios in the world. And of course, let's not forget that it's not only Bioware that had horrible releases. There's a lot of different titles that I could name and name for hours, but the ones that come to mind now would be Forspoken, Redfall, hell, let's take Rocky City, or whatever the hell that game is called. Look at games like Far Cry 5 or the Far Cry New Dawn. And yes, a lot of you may come into the comments saying, hey, Far Cry is good, but we all know that Ubisoft has been on a steady decline for the past, I don't know, like 5-6 years, specifically because of their storytelling. That elk is trying to kill itself. Okay. And don't even get me started on Assassin's Creed. I don't even know what the story is on Mirage, but I already don't like it because the gameplay is still Valhalla. And that's the whole problem for me about Assassin's Creed going from, you know, kind of parkour, adventure, down to earth gameplay to flying around shit and teleporting and whatever the fuck. That's not at least what I imagined Assassin's Creed is. And what the fuck are they? Damn! 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 That mud crab did them dirty. How you gonna let this go, huh? Like, I'm a Khajiit, but I look like a chimp with these arms. I look like I was just let out of the zoo. Maybe I was, I don't know. Companies started focusing on what is easier to market than on games that actually matter and that are good. Of course, there are a lot of games that are good, but there's a clear trend towards games that would just gain popularity very fast or hype very fast, and sometimes they don't even finish the game. Cyberpunk. Even if Cyberpunk is good now, it's been 2 years. Yeah. Oh shit. What about now, bitch? What? Yeah. Shit. Somebody help.
This is your last mistake.
He's gonna like... Oh shit! It was my last mistake. Yeah. See? Someone's keeping... Ah, shit! A couple of months ago, Ubisoft announced that they will start using an in-house developed AI tool called Ghostwriter, which will help mainly create NPC bark lines or lines when an event is triggered. Ubisoft has clarified that they are not exchanging their writers, but rather using the ghostwriter as a helping hand. The writers will still be able to review and edit the lines before the final submission. Although not everyone is on board with introducing the AI tool, some perceive it as a threat to existing job positions, and others claim that it will only create more work for the writers. They will have to review generated lines rather than creating it themselves. Overall, there's an increasing concern that AI will invade the writing industry. It already has. But will it replace your job? Yes, but not exactly. Same as with the statement from Ubisoft, AI will be a powerful tool, but nothing more than that. AI is rapidly evolving, getting better and better with every generated answer it can provide. But in the end, for a story to be feasible and relatable to the audience, it will always need a human touch. Of course, this can shift how writers do their job and for what reasons they are hired. One of the worrying concerns for the Writers Guild of America protesters that they will be only hired to retouch a text that was made by an AI tool, which would result in lower wages, less control, and less work. Union leaders have offered a proposal to allow some AI to assist writers in polishing scripts, but only then if it doesn't impact their credits or residuals. although concerns remain about the potential for technology just to replace writers altogether if no restrictions are imposed. At some point, we all wanted our favorite game to never finish. And this is one of the most critical leverages AI has over a human writer. AI could provide a constant influx of new content that would make that dream come true. A never-ending game with a gazillion of quests and events to explore. And of course, there is definitely potential for good stuff to come from it, as we saw recently with Hidden Door's upcoming game, which aims to tell structured stories with surprises and payoffs that, unlike so many AI chatbot conversations, actually make sense. However, at the moment, only elementary text-based games can offer those never-ending adventures. But in the future, they could be implemented into a game engine with, let's per se, with a procedurally generated environments and everything else that you can think of. What I'm trying to say is that someday that dream is gonna become a reality. That means bad news for writers, designers, concept artists, you name it. It may sound grim, but it is kind of exciting to see how the gaming industry evolves with the implementation of AI. So, if everyone is creating bland remakes of once great franchises, AI is writing scripts for us, does creative writing even matter anymore? Does anyone care what they consume anymore? Can't we just copy all the other works and make something similar? Tell me, do you enjoy watching a good thriller starring any of the good actors that you like? Yes? Well, would you enjoy watching the same watered-down story with actors you didn't know even existed? Not so much. And even if the movie had A-list actors, if the script sucks, it would be a grand disaster. The actors alone cannot carry a story. Yes, there are some exceptions as to everything, but the quality of the writing, the uniqueness of the narrative, and the execution of actors all play crucial roles in creating an engaging experience for the consumer. It should be self-explanatory why we treasure and appraise shows like Breaking Bad, Black Mirror, and Peaky Blinders. It is not only their good writing that gives them the praise, but their uniqueness too. Of course, the writers should pat themselves on the back for writing such masterpieces that, honestly, nobody could recreate even if they tried. This sentiment extends to the realm of video games as well. We've seen so many games copy-paste the same tropes, storylines, have often odd similarities between them, plots that have similar outcomes and twists that we just got bored of them. And that is also why we got bored of video games this past decade. We're literally playing watered-down versions of games we played in our childhoods. So, does creative writing matter? No.
You don't want to be like this. This is disgusting. This is awful in every way. If I could kill it, I would. But I legally can't.
Yes. Yes, it does. If it does matter, and we do use it, how do we know if that story that has been created is actually good? I can give you the short answer. It is subjective. Yes, there are multiple factors at play that make up a good story. Whether it's complex and relatable characters, a very well-written dialogue, rich world building with complex and rich lore. But in the end, we humans are simple creatures. Sometimes a book, movie, or a game can have low reviews and overall scores, but you specifically enjoy the experience. That is because the best stories will be the ones that relate to you. We all are different and enjoy different things. There's nothing wrong with enjoying a story that most do not. But if everyone experiences the same thing differently, why do we have ratings, critics, rankings? While personal experiences may vary, everyone and everything is held up to some kind of standard. If we talk about game critics, they often have a deep knowledge and understanding of the game industry and can provide valuable insights into a game's strengths and weaknesses. Reviews and critiques also help players understand the play mechanics, the story, the characters, and the overall quality of the product. And ratings are a quick and easy way to compare games based on specific criteria. such as graphics, gameplay, story, or innovation. Although to create a good game, you need a lot of resources. For a game to have a good story, writers must get creative. For the writers to get creative, they need time. And as we all know, time equals money. Look at how Rockstar creates a masterpiece one after the other, with no imminent pressure on their backs, loaded budgets, and international talents in every department. For Rockstar Studios, nothing is in the way to get creative and develop stories on a level never seen in the industry before. Unfortunately for the majority of the studios, that is impossible to do most of the time. Creative writing and well-received titles are hard to come by, and it's mainly due to financial instability. So, this is why we all came here for. To finally answer, how the hell is bad writing gonna revolutionize the gaming industry? Well, it is as with everything else. If you get enough shitty products, at some point, a very good product will appear in front of you that simply is too good to be true. We get so many shitty $130 every year copy-paste released installments that after months of non-stop complaining to the developers, some random studio in the corner of the world is learning from all those mistakes made by their peers and releases once in a decade golden tier game that changes the trajectory of game development for future generations. Yes, while bad game writing is a serious crime, it pushes other studios, developers, and creative minds to look further, go beyond, break the standards, and show how truly creative human minds are. There are a lot of different factors as to why some game studios choose not to push beyond and release the same game every year without really changing the formula. But it is always about the money, whether we're talking about microtransactions, following the trend, or the same protests. Why do companies do not want to pay enough money for any workers, not just writers? While history may reveal that Bioware's decline and uncertain future can be attributed to a variety of factors, it certainly seems like the gradual undervaluing of the writers and writing that once set them apart may have been one of the most notable early symptoms of problems that seemingly still continue to plague the studio. The majority of game developers have forgotten that while the value of creative writing lies in its ability to engage the players, to challenge us, to open new worlds and perspectives, it also serves as a two-branch stick, leading you to a pool of undiscovered oil. And of course, I'm not only talking about Bioware, but slowly and steadily, the whole gaming industry is trying to get rid of creative writing. From their perspective, they would rather spend millions of dollars on tools and AI rather than hire some more writers, or actually give them a bigger budget. Capitalism has grown thick roots in the gaming industry, forcing studios into tight deadlines, debts, and gargantuous expectations from both fans and shareholders. While the introduction of AI raises concerns, at the moment it is too early to predict how it will influence the industry. However, it is crucial to ensure that people always stay above a mere tool. Adorno and Horkheimer's theory highlights the need to resist commodification of cultural products and prioritize rich, thought-provoking, and engaging works instead. By doing so, we can ensure that creative writing remains a vital and valued form of cultural production that can inspire not only us, but the future generations. This video specifically was created to start a conversation. Therefore, I would love to hear everyone's thoughts on the relevant matter. Maybe I'm wrong on some points. You can correct me, of course. I would love the criticism. Whether they are comments, emails, or responding videos, all are welcome. This is where I will end this time. Thank you for watching and for listening. I will see you next time, and until then, take care.